There is something about looking out a train window that makes the world look so grand. The slow passage of scenery is peaceful and thought-provoking. I've been a train enthusiast my whole life, but I rode my first interstate Amtrak train last year on my way home from a trip to Colorado. After that trip, my mind kept wandering back to the network of trains crisscrossing our country. In April, I quit my job and bought the 10-ride, month-long USA Rail Pass for $500. My trip began in San Jose, where I boarded the Coast Starlight and headed south. The Coast Starlight is considered to be one of the most beautiful trains in the Amtrak system. For 100 miles, it hugs the coast, and the views are spectacular.
I'd take the long way home if it meant I'd go walking by your door. Together we could see where the road will lead to the unknown. There is no end if you believe. Just take my hand and come with me.
I spent the night with my friend Zach and commuted with him to work on the LA Metro. After that, I went for a hike with my friend Benji, and his family graciously had me over for dinner before driving me to the train station to take my next train. The Sunset Limited provides beautiful views of the desert Southwest on its 48-hour trip from Los Angeles to New Orleans. The USA Rail Pass works only for coach class and the cafe car, but not for sleepers or the diner. So I packed lots of food, and with a little creativity, I was eventually able to get a good night's sleep on the train. The train was 8 hours late, and my time in New Orleans was already brief, but I had time for a bike ride and a quick game of disc golf before catching the next train to Chicago. In contrast to a bus, Amtrak trains have lots of room to walk around. The western routes even have an observation car, which provides beautiful views and opportunity to talk to other passengers. As I looked out the window, Bayou gave way to forests and then to the plains of the north, and I woke up the next morning in Chicago. After a few hours walking around Chicago, I was off on my next train, the Cardinal. For many small towns throughout the United States, Amtrak serves as the only inner-city transportation, a lifeline to essential services in big cities. Aboard the Cardinal, I was treated to stunning views of the West Virginia countryside, including 3 hours traveling through our nation's newest national park, New River Gorge. I also met the first other USA Rail Passers on my journey, 2 lifelong friends who had just retired and wanted to see the country. I stayed with my friends Armand and Sarah Beth in Philadelphia for a few days and rested up from the long train journey. Then I went to my cousin Martin and Danya's wedding. Then it was on to Florida. My brother Connor joined me for the 30-hour train ride from Philadelphia to Florida, and it was good to have company after riding the first 4 trains alone. Florida, I cheered on my mom as she competed in the Senior Olympics. I visited my grandparents and saw 2 national parks. Then a week later, I was back on the train, headed north again. I stayed in Washington, D.C. with my friend Matt for a few days. We did an overnight in Shenandoah National Park, and I walked around the National Mall. As I was walking around the tidal basin with my friend James, we ran into Marianne Williamson and Andrew Yang.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next stop coming up will be our first meeting with Virginia.
I didn't take many videos of the people I met or the conversations I had, but on the trains I talked with passengers from all over the country and the world. Long train rides facilitate conversations and friendships. The United States is divided on many issues, but after a month on the train, I felt more hopeful about our country's future than I had in a while. In Minnesota, I rented a car and visited Voyageurs and Isle Royale National Parks. After living in the desert for 2 years, I really appreciated the bright greenery and massive rivers around Lake Superior. It felt very relaxing to be outdoors and camping again. Like many other cities in our country, St. Paul has a beautiful train station that used to be bustling with activity, but now only serves 1 train a day. It is a shame that the United States once had a great passenger rail system, and now only a skeleton remains. It's always a treat to see mountains on the horizon again coming back out west. The views through Glacier National Park are some of the most scenic in the Amtrak system.
I'm from the East Coast. This is my first time seeing stuff. From
I woke up the next morning, gliding down the Columbia River Gorge and into Portland. I'd fallen into a rhythm and grown quite comfortable with the swaying motions of the train, sleeping on the floor, meeting strangers, sharing fruit and cold-soaked couscous. All too soon the trip was coming to an end.
At rest, pretty much this train is about to come to a close, ladies and gentlemen.
My soul was full from the natural beauty and the kindness of people I met along the way. I had a few hours to walk around Portland, and then I boarded my final train back to the Bay Area.